Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholum La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakahadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Ahwah. That's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Wah, just coming at you with another quick lesson. Praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And fair use. Copyright Act of 1976, 107, for educational purposes only, not getting any monetary value off of the video at all, just for educational purposes for this particular lesson. Now, this guy right here, Israeli cybersecurity billionaire Shlomo Kramer, says it's time to limit the First Amendment. Well, isn't that anti-American? You know, you're screaming anti-Semitism for you to say that against a country that you have absolutely nothing to do with from what you say, which we know that's a lie, because we understand that you're running shit here anyway. But wouldn't that be anti-American to say the First Amendment? We're talking about this is something that America has been about since a couple of hundred years. So now all of a sudden you're saying, oh, well, we should limit their First Amendment speech and talk and all these other different things. Now here you go in a whole another country. This motherfucker from somewhere else. Well, okay, it says we need to control all the social platforms and take control of what they're saying. So now this is just really Esau. Let me get this real quick because this comes to mind. We're just gonna move in the spirit on it. I just seen this and I'm like, hey, wait, hey, I tell you what though, I applaud it. Because you doofy, stupid ass Americans, you so-called white people here that have terrorized the Israelites, so-called the real Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you deserve everything that you're getting. Everything that you're getting. We applaud the downfall of your country. We applaud the downfall of your constitution, which is phony as hell, which you're fucking hypocrites when it comes straight down to it. Because, you know, you created that for your own people. In the meanwhile, you're talking about all men are created equal and all this silly shit, but you had our people in slavery whipping our backs in, you know, doing us all kinds of dirty. So we applaud this. Psalm 64:8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, all that see them shall flee away. And this is exactly what's going on here. This is what this guy is. This right here is a clear statement that they're telling you who they are. They're telling you what's popping. They're making their own tongue to fall upon themselves, saying, hey, we're going to shut you Americans up. You had all those Palestinian protests going on over the past year, 2 years, when we was genocide those people over there, you know, and then they're losing. They're losing, man. I'm talking about they losing to the point where all the Edomites are losing, but these Israelis, they're not doing very well right now when it comes to the perspective or the way that the world sees them now, because they've been having campaigns. They spent a lot of money on a lot of billboards and radio ads and just trying to push this come back to Israel talk, come back to Israel. Because they're losing it amongst the young people, the narrative, the information war amongst the young people. They're losing that narrative. These young people are looking at y'all like, nah, y'all is pieces of shit. You're murderers. You're this, you're that, and that, these universities, they cut into those universities, right? And they use Trump to do it. So you megas, you so-called white people that voted for Trump, he has destroyed your speech for these people. He cut all into your universities. He started defunding certain stuff. Anybody that said anything about, he started putting executive orders in place where you can't say anything. He's talking about defunding certain states if they said anything or if they didn't want to do business with Israel. All these different things. So here you go, your president, Donald Trump, within the past year, he has given these people more rights than you will ever have. For real. These people have more rights in America than you will ever have now. You so-called white people, man. And it's good for you. All praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rakakadash. Let me get another one. This is beautiful. I'm gonna play that video too. Because actually, if Americans got on the news, a billion, let's just say, Bill Gates, he's a American billionaire, so to speak. If he got on the news and he said, "Well, it's time that we do this about Israel, such and such, such and such, and we need to control these platforms where they're trying to stop the people from seeing what's really going on over in Gaza, and we need to control these platforms." You know, they'd be screaming anti-sim, anti-sim, anti-sim. But you Americans, but now when you go into the comment boards, though, now I went into the comment boards, and these Americans, they pissed. But guess what? You're not gonna do a goddamn thing about it. You know why? Because you've been suckered and cuddled, and you got all these guns, and you just a sucker with all this ammunition. You've been suckered into. But you know what? These Edomites. It's about to be Egyptian on Egyptian. These Edomites, they ready to go at it, man, about this type of stuff though. So they're kind of waking up, but it's done taking you too long. Your government is already overtaken now. Ecclesiasticus 25:7, also known as the Book of Sirach, chapter 25 verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that's lived to see the fall of his enemy. So we're witnessing the fall of our enemy right before our very eyes. This is prophetic, man. So I applaud everything that this guy's talking about. I say you go ahead and you push this shit, and you Edomites go ahead and battle it out. Go ahead and get that Civil War crack, and go ahead and do what you're gonna do, man. So it says the remarks have drawn sharp criticism from civil liberties advocates and free speech prominence, who argued that government-mandated stack ranking of citizens would constitute an unprecedented move towards state-sponsored censorship. Critics suggest that such a system would effectively create a social credit score. That's what's going on over in China right now. And guess what? They're going to come with a microchip after that for you motherfuckers. For speech, granting the government the power to silence dissenting voices under the guise of authenticity. Right? Conversely, some proponents of tech regulation argue that the lack of accountability on social platforms has allowed for the spread of harmful disinformation. While few have gone as far as Kramer's call for direct government takeover, there is a growing consensus among some security experts that the anonymity currently afforded to internet users presents a significant challenge to national stability. What happens next? Kramer's comments are likely to fuel further legislative debates regarding Section 230 and the legal responsibility of tech giants, while any direct move to limit the First Amendment would face immediate and rigorous challenges in the U.S. court system. But they didn't took over your court system. They didn't took over your Constitution. Trump been signing all kinds of executive orders, man, to shut y'all asses down. You can't go protest no more. If you're protesting against anything that they're saying, they can call it. I think they're giving your ass. I'm not sure how much time, but it's jail time with fines. If you going out and you like, I don't like this, and you're going out and you're marching. Anybody that's involved, anybody that gets involved, they can jail your ass and give you a fine. So this is shit that they've been this might be the proposal right here. I don't even know. I forgot what the name of it is. It says, while any direct move to limit the First Amendment would face immediate and rigorous challenges in the U.S. court system, the discussion reflects a shifting attitude among some industry leaders regarding the balance between security and open expression. Well, these Israelis, they own all these companies. They're buying all these companies up. They just got their hands on TikTok. TikTok was one of the main platforms that was cutting into their asses when it came to what they was doing over here in Gaza. Right? So they're cutting into all that, and it's really coming down to Amos 8:11. Matter of fact, let me just grab that real quick. I don't want to keep this long, but I'm gonna play this guy's little video because it's coming down to this famine of the word. Fuck what these regular people gotta say, because you ain't talking about nothing anyway. It's this word that's cutting the asses up. It's the men of the Lord going out on the highways and byways, and they can't just straight forth challenge the men of the Lord. They can't just be like, oh, them Hebrew Israelites, because it'll bring too much attention to the Hebrew Israelites, the men of the Lord, man. So they have to do it, sneakily. Amos 8:11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land. And the Lord God, this is the Most High. His name is Yahweh, which means that he exists, or the existing one. And the true name of his son is Yahweh Shai, which means that he's the savior or deliverer in the Paleo Hebrew, right? Okay, it says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north to east to and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh and shall not find it. That's why, hey, you got to get it while the getting is good. Because there's going to come a point where, hey, they're going to shut all anything that's got to do with the scriptures out. They already talking about banning the Bible in certain places. Certain places you can't even take a Bible or find a Bible. And it's coming to America, to you Christians. Imagine that. You people that stole America with your so-called Christian values, sweet white baby Jesus, the damn idol that you've been pushing throughout the earth, and all of a sudden, they getting rid of that very Bible that you stole the world with. And we talking about these are your Israelis that supposedly be the chosen people. Why don't they want the Bible to be taught the proper way? Why don't they want the real truth to come out? Aren't they supposed to be about truth? Right? Trump been on his Truth Social, and he just been signing executive order after executive order after executive order. It was Edomite at the job not long ago. He's like in his 70s. Had to bring his old ass back to work because this economy is fucked all up. He done ran through all that money, ran through his 401k and all this other shit. He done ran through all the little money he had put to the side for his granddaughters to go to college and shit. And he asking me, we was on a ride somewhere, and he was asking me, because I listen to the radio, I be listening to talk radio. He was trying to pick my brain here and there, but I noticed since Trump has been in office over this past 11 months, he ain't been saying much. But at first, he was talking all kinds of shit because he was an avid Trump supporter. Now he's starting to see. I know he see it. All those Edomites that I work with, they mouths is sewn shut now because they can see. Okay, well, damn, it ain't what I thought it was gonna be. But you was hyped and happy as fuck when he first came in. But he asked me. He was like, "How you think Israel is running America? I think of Israel, motherfucker. Yeah, Israel running America. What the fuck you talking about? You know they running this place. You know that y'all shit is over with. And it's just Edomite on Edomite war. Because you know what? Esau is notorious for causing discord among brethren. And now that's amongst them. Here you go. You got a foreign nation running your nation, taking on your damn tax money. I seen one video with I think it was a Sheetamite. She was like, should I just sign Israel a check, or should I just get my taxes done? Because she know that her taxes is going there. And so when you look at the comment boards in this particular hookup, hey, these Edomites here, they not with this shit. They are not with it, bro. But I'm gonna play the video. You'll see. We can read a couple of the comments, man. But check this guy out. Why are you here? Why are you trying to control the speech of why aren't you controlling the speech in I don't know, fucking Zimbabwe or something? Or why aren't you over there? Why aren't you in Sweden or Australia? See, with that shooting supposedly on that beach over there, when a couple of weeks back here, they're controlling speech amongst these mainly they're controlling speech amongst these so-called white people nations, man. They're not really, they're not in Russia pushing Israeli nothing, even though you got things that's going on with Ukraine and shit, because those are mainly Israelis too. But they're not pushing this amongst, it's only certain nations that they're pushing this upon, and it's really the ones that's in control of the economics, or that have citizens that's actually what they consider to be civilized, where the media is prominent. They're running these newspaper companies, magazines, just in general, central banks, countries with the central bank system. And it's Esau, man, the Amalekites, man. Amalek, he's running shit. And instead of them, supposedly, they're the chosen people. The prophecy done supposedly went down with them going back into the land. Why are you in all these countries supposedly talking about anti-Semitism? Why aren't you in your own country where you don't have to worry about that? Why don't you just go back? Why are you not in the Holy Land? Aren't you the holy people? Then the prophecy was fulfilled with you being there. Why are you not there? Why are you in other countries dictating and trying to talk about, well, we got to do something about the anti-Sem is on the rise. Anti-Sem is on the rise. Anti-Semitism. This the kind of shit right here that make that type of shit rise. Shit like this. Like here you go. You in a foreign country telling these people some shit about something that's been going on, but their First Amendment that's been established since the country was established. And all of a sudden, here you go, a foreigner is dictating and telling this country that they should, no, we got to do away with that. Why aren't you just in Israel? Why aren't you, why are you not there? But anyway, let's play the video. Check the guy out.
I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it. And quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government should control the social media.
Yeah.
There you have it. And guess why he's saying that? He don't give a fuck about niggas on YouTube twerking and hoes on there with their ass cheeks out. He don't care nothing about them shorts with niggas shooting at each other. Videos of motherfuckers jumping the counter at McDonald's and all these fights and scraps and battle royals. These people don't care about nothing like that. They about that chaos. Only thing that they care about is when things are being spoken about them. That's it. Now let's go into the comment boards. Let's see what some of these people got to say. Somebody says straight from the top, stop listening to Israel. This is not their country. Hey, there you go. First comment. Somebody says it's not their country, but they do own our politicians, which they're correct. I'll never vote for anyone accepting AIPAC money. This includes both sides of the aisle. So the Republican and Democrat, they're all accepting money from these people. Says stop far right lies and misinformation. Go back to when news had verified as true to be on air. Well, all that shit is over with, man. These people, Esau don't have no fucking integrity. They don't care. You got one side of the news, for Democrats. You got one side of the news for Republicans, and you just got to filter through it. Best thing you can do with the news is basically subscribe to some alternative channels, man. And really, you got to, eat the meat, chew the meat, and spit out the bone, even with those. Sure. Somebody says, what a stupid take. A brain dead as conservative cowards are. I still want them to spew their nonsense. Governments ought never to disarm citizens either by banning words or weapons. Well, hey, this is how America was created. Somebody says, so are firearms. And your point is, I didn't say that we enjoy freedoms that should be guaranteed by the Constitution. I said government ought not to ban words or weapons. Yeah, all right. Said I think we should limit orange clowns' access to social media by giving breathalyzer. Trump be typing all day, but Trump own his own shit. Because they been got rid of Trump. Remember, that's how Trump ended up with Truth Social, his own platform. Because I think they ended up having to pay him some money and stuff like that. Because remember, that last term that he was in, they ended up getting rid of a lot of his channels and shit like that he was talking on. Okay, so this person says, time for my tax dollars to stop supporting Remora Israel. Yep. Said that's a joke. This administration is the biggest source of misinformation. He means so they can control the narrative. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what they're into. Shlomo Kramer, seriously, who's the partner? BB Costanza. Yeah, man. Because you got to realize too, that was something that they said a few weeks back as well. What they was talking about their war is with social media now, so they're really on that. Bibi Netanyahu or Netanyahu, he said that their war is against social media. They had they invited or they pretty much paid for those. I don't know if it was 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 pastors, but anyway, they was talking about getting to all the pastors throughout the world, millions of pastors wherever they were, to pretty much get at the younger generation to kind of lure them back into the belief that these people are the people, they're the holy people. And these very people that invited all those pastors over there, they don't even believe in this white Jesus that you pastors believe in, which is crazy. But they went and, they're training them. They're supposedly ambassadors. And so they're going to come back to wherever country they were, where they're from. And they're going to go to their congregation and they're going to preach Israel. And that war is done. That war is done because these young people are not, into them churches like that anymore anyway. They can see the bullshit. Because it's the social media. See, the social media is really what's got it to the point where it's at. It's too much. When you can hit a search engine, you can just go in there, type something, and you can get information at the fingertips of your, within seconds, basically. And you can see, okay, well, I put this together, you put that together. And you can just clearly see that, it's not the old days when they was just able to, a white person would just buy a newspaper from a newspaper stand, give his little nickel, dime, quarter, or whatever it costed, and he flip it over, flip it open. He's looking at the Times, or he's looking at the stocks, or he's looking at, the sports, the little funnies in the back, you know what I'm saying, the crossword puzzles and shit. That shit is no more. The only people that still believe in that Israel is supposedly Israel, and they're the holy people, are those old ass people like Donald Trump's age, so to speak. These younger generation people, they like, hell no, we know for a fact y'all not who y'all saying y'all are. And if you are, they don't even care about that. They just like, well, why are my tax dollars going to you and I'm struggling? How is it that you're getting free healthcare and free schooling and free this, free that on my dime, and here I am, I'm in debt. I'm trying to pay my bills. I can keep my tax money. I can handle my bills, and that will, make life better for me. But here you go. My money is being taken from me to be sent to you, and I have nothing to do with you at all. But this is these people. They done snuck into your system. They snaked their ways through your shit, and now they're in every part of government. They're the lawyers. They're judges. They're congressmen. They're just making, they're putting up money in each state, and city, you know what I'm saying, on who they think would, be best for their interests. And that's just what's going on, man. So, end out there, man. I ain't gonna, get too much more on it. It says any limitation on free speech is an assault on free speech. The only thing that should be monitored and regulated is foreign and anti-constitutional propaganda. See, these people not with it. They're not with no other countries being in a shit, man. Another billionaire who wants to silence poor taxpayers. He should rot in hell. Ah, man. Shlomo, that's unconstitutional. Look how well things are going for BB Stan. Yeah. Time to limit billionaires. I like to believe that when a Zionist like this makes a statement like that, Americans would wake up to what the agenda is and what's happening to them. Sadly, I fear that's not the case. Well, they hear it, they understand what's going on, and you know what? It's really, it's a schism, so to speak, or it's a boundary that the Lord have for these Edomites. Because see, the Lord is going to be the one that's going to turn these Edomites on. See, right now they can't just uproar, and just do it. See, the Lord is going to turn them on. We don't know when, it seems as if it's getting close though. But the Lord is going to turn these Edomites on here in the Americas, and they're going to go ape shit crazy, in a little while. And you, Jake, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you have to just be on point, man, and just come out of this place. Step away from this place, because this is not your rest. Let these white people fight it out, man. Because the Lord is going to put the Egyptian against the Egyptian anyway. It's going to be class wars, gender wars, fucking world wars, civil wars. Because these Edomites here in America, they're starting to see that. That's why you got these platforms like, Nick Fuentes, and, they're talking about Tucker Carlson. They was talking about Candace Owens, you know what I'm saying? They was talking about how pretty much just these 3 people or 4 people have spewed and have created this increase in anti-Semitism. No, it's people like this guy right here. You don't think that motherfuckers is looking at you like, nigga, who the fuck are you? You're creating your own anti-Semitism. Here you go. You're in a country when you can be in your own country. Control your own country and social. What does America have to do with you like that? Well, we know what it is. We know that they done took the place over. But this guy, you're creating your own situation where people despise your ass just by saying stuff like this on TV. And see, they don't care. They pretty much at a point where they don't give a shit no more because it's all under their control now. They have it now. So I'm gonna play this one more time and we'll end out.
I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it, and quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms. All the social platforms, we need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online and take...
Okay, so you heard what he said. Every person expressing themselves. So, and somebody mentioned, they mentioned the social credit score. So if you're saying anything out of the way, if you're speaking your mind, if you're saying anything against what they're talking about, then they can, hit your social credit score and put your ass on the streets. They can turn your money off. They can do whatever, man. They can, take your damn home from you. Because everything is electronic. Why you think they pushing so hard for this real ID? And then next step is gonna be that microchip, so they can be totally in control of all your movements, your speech. They don't like what you're eating. They don't like how many, cheeseburgers you ate this week, whatever the case may be. They know everything about you. They can just clip your shit and say, no, that's a bad person. We got to do away with them. The next thing you know, the scripture talks about training up a child in the way he should go. So as generation goes on, that's if it were to last. I'm just speaking as a man. So the next generation will come in with the children automatically looking at you like, oh, he's doing wrong. And the tattletellers too, you know what I'm saying? The ones that's going to be pointing the finger like, he ate another donut. So as the shit goes on, they're going to just get rid of the old generation. It would eventually phase out. Then you will have a new generation of kids that would have kids, if that's the case may be. Because Esau, he seems to be killing off the sperm count and anything that's got to do with a birth here, man. This man is the devil, man, that the Bible speaks of. But just think, generation to generation, it would just be something natural where people just get up, brush their damn teeth, eat their allotted amount of food for the day. If motherfuckers want them to have a crease in their pants, they gotta have it. They can't wear pajamas or sweatpants, whatever the case, whatever this man wants. They're just gonna do that shit and repeat, day to day to day, repeat. They don't want you having children. They don't want you being involved with the opposite sex. But if anything, Esau, they're gonna be about that man on man, that woman on woman. This man is he's the reverse card man. So I'm gonna end out there. Pray that the lesson was edifying. With that, Kwame Inshallah and a bubble ball.